You're alive. Wow. Welcome to Be So Light. I am Felicia, and I am here to help you stay true to your Be So Light. So, I have a very unusual subject to talk about. And I think I've only talked about this subject one time on this channel, but I'm going to be using reference. So, there is a couple of things popping up on TikTok. Now, I'm not a TikTok follower because I think TikTok is more for I don't know, younger people, or that's what TikTok is for. Um, but I have been seeing some things popping up about spirits and ghosts and stuff, and I watch it. And I think it's Slap Ham or scary, but I think it's mainly slap ham. So I watched some of the videos of that, and there's been quite a few videos that are showing people being hit or dragged. Now, there are spirits that will physically touch you. There are spirits that will physically make contact with you. But let's talk about something that's not being talked about and that is happening. So, Valerie Love, back in the day, she did a video and she was out on the back of her patio one day and she was outside painting. And this is like way, way back in the time. And she told this story on her channel. And she says, "Yeah, I was painting one day out on the back patio and just enjoying the sun and having a good time. And I was just painting, just doing the painting and having a good time painting and everything. And my paint, for whatever reason, I think I think something happened. One of the kids came out or something, and they hit the table the wrong way, and the paint spilled, kind of like flew up in the air, and there was something that was sitting on a fence post next to where she's painting, sitting there watching her painting, and it was an unidentifiable creature to her. It had paint all over it. She could see the figure of it, and as soon as it got the paint on it, it freaked out because it had been discovered it was watching her, and it took off across the fence down the field, and they went to go look for it and it disappeared. It was gone. So that let her know right then and there that there are beings that are living amongst us. And yes, there are. But here's the thing, and I want you to think about this. Really, really think about this. They put that movie Invisible Man out, and the newer one, not the old one, the newer one. And they showed the technology of a suit. Well, why would they show us a suit that you could wear? Because we're supposed to think that's all made up. No, it's not made up. If they had the inspiration to make the movie, that suit exists. Okay. So you got to remember our technology of some of the things we are shown or given, we're kept in the dark about, but they're using other technology that they've been using for eons. Okay. So this particular part in the movie, he's able to put the suit on, he's able to go abuse his wife, is able to look like it's a ghost doing it. She's getting framed for, her sister. He kills her sister right there in a restaurant, and she's the one that's crazy and all this crazy stuff going on. So the reason why I bring this up is because of the times we live in right now. And it is keen to pay attention to your surroundings. It is key to go through your home and smudge and just randomly do things, because you got to remember the movie Predator and Aliens. Now Predator always has a mirror like a reflection. And you know the reason why I'm talking about this is because of the picture that I posted in Instagram. And that was passed to me, and I looked at it and I said, now I'm a fan of Mount Shasta. How the hell do you get a shadow on top of the mountain and there's not one cloud around to make that shadow? There was something sitting right above that mountain that was huge. 2 days prior, before something stupid went down with somebody shooting off something in the sky like an idiot. Um, but it was big enough to make a cast shadow on top of that mountain. And it caught a lot of people that live there eye and said, well, how could that mountain have a shadow above it and there's not a cloud in the sky? Come on now. Really? Are we supposed to be looking like we're that dumb? Are we supposed to be looking as though we don't understand the normal physics of a shadow? So, this is why I bring this up. So, be aware that there are other beings and creatures living amongst us, and they are invisible. They cloak themselves. Let's just call it what it is. They cloak themselves. They cloak themselves very well. And, anyone that's walking or what, and something just shoves you, that's because that was a cloak being standing right there, and you didn't see it. And they know you can't see them unless the frequency attunes itself, and then it really keeps you from seeing. Now, here's something I want you to think about. Think about this. Okay. So they got all their technology, the 5G towers all over the place. They got these ones that look like a tree, and they put all the green tree look on it to make it look like a tree. So think about this. What if, hypothetically, just thinking, hypothetically, think about it. Those towers are supposed to keep your frequency down so you don't really see the ones who are losing the ability to cloak. Because I want you to think about that. And I kind of started laughing about it. And I said, wow, this is worse than a chess game that's gone rogue. This is straight up poker face. So think about this. What if, just what if, that was happening? But here's the thing, Mother Earth's frequency is going up. Okay. She's increasing, she's accelerating. So as she's accelerating in her frequency, we have no choice but to keep raising our frequency up to stay up on that newer timeline, correct? Because we talk about this all the time. So here's the game. They can't keep up their facade. They can't do it anymore. And so don't be surprised if you, and it's timelines, dimensional stuff that's happening. Don't be surprised if you walk into your bedroom and you see something and you don't know what you just saw. I saw another one that was interesting, and this has been happening. Um, there was one on TikTok where the little boy went to go to to the bathroom. He was watching a movie with his mom, and it was during the daytime. And he went to go to the bathroom, and the mother's laying there, and she's waiting for him to come back, and he's taking forever. And she's like, "Are you okay in there?" And so she didn't hear anything. And then she hears, "Mom, mom!" She's like, "What? You want me to get up and come in there and look?" "Mom, where? Mom, mom!" And like starts panting. The child's panting. "Mom, mom, 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 mom." Okay, now keep this in mind. So she gets up. She's like, "Where is he? I can't find him." She looked all over the place. She can't find him. Then all of a sudden, she goes back into the bedroom, and he comes in. Said, "Where have you been?" And she says, "I was looking for you." He goes, "No, I came in the bedroom. You weren't here." And she says, "No, I've been laying there waiting for you to come back, And I kept hearing you calling me. He says, I wasn't calling like that. That I was looking for you. You were not in the bedroom. And she goes, what? So reason why I bring this up is because as we are going through time shifting, it's like turning keys. It's like Silent Hill. Think about that. They can be on this one timeline. All of a sudden, the clock starts ringing, and then all of a sudden, that starts coming down. And it starts changing to a different timeline. Okay, this is happening, and this is why you really have to be aware of your home and keep it very shielded, if you know what I mean. Keep it guarded. And know your home and know your children aren't going to be making that up if they come into the room and you're not there. It's the same thing. If you put something down, you lay it down, you come back in the room, you know you put it there on the counter, you can't find it. You leave the room, you come back in, you look, there it is sitting right there, but you already checked and couldn't find it. Okay. I know this to be true because I've had too many things happen to me with putting things down. I've seen too many things where people say, yeah, I heard someone calling me. I thought you were calling me. And I go and check, and you tell me you're not calling me. In the movie Predator, they mimic people's voices. They're shielded, cloaked. You can't see them, but they mimic someone's voices. They got a way to know what your voice is, and they say it, and you're thinking, "Oh, that's that person," and it's not. This is what you have to be aware of, and I'm not saying this um, to fear base, but right now you cannot not be aware of this because not everything is about a ghost. Okay, not everything is not about a ghost. And after what I saw last week, how that red beam was scanning underneath my windowsill. And it was just a red beam going back and forth. And I'm like, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever time it was. What is that? And it wasn't a car, it wasn't brake light backing up because it wouldn't have did that. There was nobody out in the parking lot. Because as soon as that thing realized I was looking at it, it went zoop, and disappeared. This is the times we live in. This planet is not what you think or how it's constructed. It's not that. It's a living organism, but there are very much so different doorways into this living organism, this living being of mother. And there's many, especially with Shasta, there's many beings that live up inside that mountain of Shasta, and it's cloaked so that you can't see it. So they don't want just anyone going up there with their frequency and their craziness, just being up there. They don't want anybody. They always scout out people. They like the ones that are always curious, or if they're going through something and they need help, they will come out and help you. That I know for a fact because I personally had that adventure. So the reason why I share this is to pay attention to your children. If they say they saw something or if they had something physically touch them, because it might not just be a ghost, it might just be something, a being that's cloaked and in your house. And you got little things happening off and on, you don't know what's going on. You know, there was this time, God, I hope I remember how to talk about this one. There was a house that I went to. It was long, long back in my younger days. And I remember the lady said, "Yeah, I need a house clearing because there's something peculiar happening in my house." And I go, "What do you mean?" She says, "Well, at a certain time of night, the kitchen gets like things get tousled all around. Like there's something in the kitchen eating up the food and it's hot in here." I go, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, it's hot in here." And I come in and I clean it up. And I know it sounds crazy, but I don't know what it is. So she literally, what she did, she waited until nighttime when she would think it was doing something, and she waited and she was able to snap pictures of it. And you know what it was? I kid you not. It was an ancient flame dragon coming through her kitchen area. And it was orangey, yellow, a flame-like dragon. It had a body. You could see its feet. You could see the scalings on it. It wasn't like a demon thing. It was literally like a dragon. It was an old ancient one coming through, and it was just getting into stuff, and then it would disappear. So some kind of way, her house was on a timeline portal dimension that allowed that dragon to come through and do what it was doing. So that was a task, trying to figure out how to not disrespect the dragon, because the dragon didn't mean no harm, but at the same time, how to close the portal so it could stop, it could reroute itself and go a different way. So I was able to figure it out, and closed it, and then just kind of worked with that. And I think after we got it closed, she had one more, and then after that, it didn't happen anymore. But, that was one that was just mind blowing to me. I mean, I literally, when she showed the picture, I was like, "Holy Toledo." So this is why I say this. This is why I'm speaking of this right now, because you're gonna see a lot of things that are gonna be like, "Whoa, I wasn't expecting that." Now, unless you are just somebody that keeps their head in the sand on a daily basis, and your face is just glued to your cell phone and you can't look up for a split second to see air coming by your face, then that's a different story. But these are some of the things that are happening. There's a difference between a spirit versus someone who's cloaked, a being that has intelligence and is watching. It makes you think about when people suddenly have heart attacks and stuff like that. If they weren't poisoned, then it makes you think like, well, how could that person, have died like that? Blah blah blah. Well, who was in the house? Who could not been seen to do it? And that's the whole premise of the whole thing, to be cloaked and to move amongst us cloaked, because they're on an entirely different frequency. But as we keep raising ours up, you're going to start seeing some things that's going to make you say, wait a minute, I just saw something shoot over there. What was that? I'm just saw like a half a body walk through my thing. Is that really a ghost, or was that something cloaked? You know, just saying. We have to be able to use discernment and to be able to say it could be very possible that is something that is cloaked instead of it being a ghost or a spirit, you know. Now, if you're living in a house that's had rituals done in it, sacrifices done on the property that's been unbeknownst to you, and you're just finding out, oh my God, this place was used for the cruelest things, or or terrible things happen on this land in this house and da 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 da, then yeah, you're going to have some activities. You're going to have some serious activities going on. Serious activity. And it can actually even be amplified if you're living next to a hospital, or amplified if you're living next to a church, or amplified if you're living next to a cemetery, because all three of those are portals. They're all portals. They're all wave lines. They're all gridded to bring spirits in or let spirits out, or to bring in an energy. Every single one of those are charged on a certain ley line to do that. Just saying. Just have to use discernment so you have a knowing to just go outside the box a little bit more, besides just thinking a smudge stick is just going to take care of it, because it might not just be smudging. Might be something else like a paint. Where did you see it? Powder. Blowing powder in the air to see if something is standing there. And playing bells and certain high frequencies can shimmy the person's cloaking apparatus or whatever they're using. But it's just something to think about, because we're living in very peculiar times right now. What do, what do? And it is all about being aware, being aware. That's all, just being aware. So I'm not saying this to freak anybody out or to sound, but some of the things that I was seeing, I I was able to see it and say, no, 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 that's somebody that's cloaked, and they just been standing there, and you walked into their space, and they just decide to do that just for the hell of it, to freak you out. Oh, watch, this is be funny. It'll freak them out. They'll think it's a ghost doing it. They laugh at us. They really do. Some of these beings have a good time laughing at us when they're doing what they're doing. And because they don't think that you would figure it out. They don't think you would ever think of anything. But I tell you what, anytime, I'm going to share this last piece, anytime when you feel like there's a presence in your room that should not be there, you can always say, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to get out of this room, to leave. And within those 5 seconds, as I am calling in Archangel Michael and Uriel, here's what's going to happen. If you are something that is of a spirit nature, you're going to be gone, because I command it so. You have to obey universal law. But if you are not, gotcha. And it's time to rumble. All right. All right, lovelies. I just wanted to leave that with you so that you would have awareness of that, because we are going through peculiar times right now. And you really need to understand that there are beings that are living amongst us. And there are hierarchy star beings that want everything out on the table, but others keep delaying it because, oh, they can't handle it. No, 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 no. Stop screwing around with us. It's time for everything to just come out and be revealed. Why should it keep going on this way? Don't you find it kind of strange? Like I said, it's like a soap opera that just keeps going on and on and on. You change the characters out. You still have all these people changing place, but they're still trying to play the same role. It's crazy. All right, lovelies, be good to yourself. It's been my pleasure to just come and share this with you, to bring a little bit of awareness, and just so you can just know, be aware. Just be aware. It's okay to be aware. All right, lovelies, be good to yourself. And that's a wrap for this info. And that's a 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.